later on could have become villains if they would have done something like switch to enemy sides. What if the United States would have lost the American Revolution? Would have Benedict Arnold been seen as a far-sighted figure who fought for the American Revolution when the cause was just, but then switched sides when he saw that the cause was no longer as just and the patriots were doing such things as burning the houses of loyalist families, as they did do in South Carolina and other places? There's just a lot of complexity here, and it's always good to question the narrative we have. I mean, I don't want to be a lazy revisionist historian. A lazy revisionist just tries to problematize and deconstruct. It's always good to deconstruct, but if you don't reconstruct anything in its place, or if you just reconstruct according to the values of 2019 and try to project everything into the past and not try to understand people for who they are, then that's a lazy graduate student thesis right there. But it's also worthwhile wondering, okay, well, why do we all believe this thing about this person or that person? Were they as really bad as they say they were? If I'm going to sum up anything for this episode, I'd say Benedict Arnold, military hero in many battles, yes. Did he have reasons to be upset for how he was treated? Yes. Was he an opportunist who loved money? Yes. Vidkun Quisling, no love lost for him. If people don't like him, then go for it. Caligula, yeah. He doesn't seem like a very good guy at all, but some of the wilder stories about him are less historically rooted than some of the other bad things about him. So that's my very controversial take in this episode. Caligula is bad. Vidkun Quisling is bad. Benedict Arnold's an opportunist, but let's at least understand some of his better points in history. So that's about all I have to say in this episode. Feel free to let me know whether you are listening to this episode live or you hear it later. If you would like me to do more episodes live like this, whether for good or for ill. And if you would like to attend more live events, I'll do my best to let you know what's going on. It will be occurring in the History Unplugged podcast Facebook group, and you can join them here and join the discussion. You could also leave voicemails if I schedule these far enough in advance. I'll do my best to stitch these together and play people's comments. So thank you for joining me in this, and I'll talk to you later. All right, that is today's episode. First off, I want to give a shout out to the Spy Masters for the Knowlton's Rangers. Vic Austin, Chris, Rob Matlock, Alan Baker, Beverly Ingle, Jake Harrington, Todd Warren, William Ivey, Joyce Normant, Tyler from Colorado, Josh Reddick, Daniel Lawson, Marlene, Michael, Tim Clark, David Powell, Moondoggy from Ohio, Melissa, Christopher Main, Carl from Norway, and Baron Fraser. I'll explain what that is in a second. If you like the show and want to help it grow, there are 4 easy ways for you to do it. 1, like and subscribe to the show on the podcast player of your choice. This helps spread the word about the show. 2, join our Facebook group. Here we can keep the discussion going about new episodes, and you can talk about what you like and didn't like. And you can find this group if you just search for History Unplugged on Facebook. 3, we have an online store with t-shirts, phone covers, and other accessories featuring awesomely bad history puns that were crowdsourced by you, the audience. And you can find that if you go to tpublic, public.com and look for History Unplugged, or you just go to historyonthenet.com and look for our store there. 4, and this is really the best way to dive deep with History Unplugged, and that's to become one of the Knowlton's Rangers. If you know your American history, you know the Knowlton's Rangers were an elite spy and reconnaissance group in the American Revolutionary War, but it's also the name of the membership program of History Unplugged. You can join at 3 levels. If you join at the level of Scout, you can hear all the episodes of History Unplugged completely ad-free and get early access to new episodes, at least a week early. If you join at the Intelligence Officer level, you get special bonus episodes, like a 10-part series on the World War II hero Audie Murphy, a multi-part series called Ottoman Lives about different people in the Ottoman Empire, and a series called Rendezvous with Death that looks at biographical profiles of Americans who went to fight in World War I before America entered the war. The last level is Spy Master, where you get all that stuff, but you also get 3 hardcover history books, Forging a President, How the Wild West Created Teddy Roosevelt, Race to the Top of the World, Richard Byrd and the First Flight to the North Pole, and The Last Fighter Pilot, the true story of the final combat mission of World War II. Another bonus is, you can choose a history topic for me to focus on for an entire episode that can go up to an hour, and I'll answer whatever question you have for me, and you get a shout out at the end of each episode. If you want to learn how to become a member of the Knowlton's Rangers, go to patreon.com/unplugged. That's patreon.com/unplugged. All right, well, that is all for my spiel. Thanks for listening to the History Unplugged podcast, from ancient Greece to the Cold War and everything else in between. See you next time.